Hey everyone, it's William with Scammers Action. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I had to do a quick update on my computer, so it took a little bit. I'm just gonna let everybody get into the chat and we'll start our first Q&A of 2019. It's middle of January already, so it's hard to believe that it's starting so quickly, but here we are in 2019. So I wanted to thank everybody for joining us. If you missed our live Q&A, tonight, I will upload it to the YouTube channel right after. I know a lot of you guys are overseas and it's probably the middle of the night for you, so we'll definitely get that uploaded for you in the next couple hours. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We had a lot of great questions that came in, and I hope to answer everybody's questions. If I miss a question and you would like it answered, just go ahead and write it in the chat box. I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. And again, if I miss it completely, just come to our inbox and I'm happy to try and answer your question and help you out in any way that you need it. So with that, just wanted to get everyone in the chat, say hello to everybody, and thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to try to do another Q&A in February, as we do it once a month, and hopefully we'll have some new and exciting stuff each time we do one. But thanks for joining us tonight. I want to start off a quick thing that we're having an issue with on the page. We try to ban people that make racist remarks or racist memes, and understand that the page gets probably 500 to 1,000 comments a day. And so we go through all these comments and we try our best to remove ones that are, racially motivated or hatred. So if you do see something on the page that is offensive to you or is, racially offensive, just let us know, inbox us, or tag the page name in blue next to the comment, and we'll try to go ahead and go in there and either ban the person or send them a warning. And also, I want to touch on something really quickly. We do have victims that are from Africa. We have victims that are from every country in Africa. So we do have people that come to our page that are from Nigeria, that are from Botswana, that are from South Africa, that are victims. So please keep that in mind, that a person from that country isn't a scammer. We've had Nigerians who are good, hardworking people that got scammed by other Nigerian scammers. So just remember that they're not all scammers, and don't look at a person's profile and see that they're from Africa and assume that they're a scammer. We do our homework. We do check profiles. We do check everybody that comes to the page. So don't make racist or ignorant comments about, well, that man's from Africa, so he must be a scammer. It's not true. And we check everybody, and we personally talk to a lot of people. So please remember that. It upsets me to see people make such hatred statements towards others just because of where they're from. So people are asking, how's Anne? Anne is doing okay. She's resting. She does come on the page once in a while to help out. I mean, she's on it every day checking it. But she's got a long road to recovery. So it's going to be a while before she's up to full speed again. But she does appreciate all your thoughts and prayers and all your good wishes and positivity for her. And you can catch her in the inbox. She does come to the inbox. So you might be talking to her, not me. But we'll let you know either way. But thank you for asking. She's doing okay. She's still going to the doctors quite regularly, and she's been in and out of the hospital a few times. So it's a long road ahead of her, but hopefully she'll be getting back to herself soon and back on full track. So we'll see what happens, but I will update you guys if there's any changes or anything happens. So just know that I'm here, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for you. So we've had a lot of people write in a lot of different questions. I've gotten some odd questions too. I'm going to try to answer all of them, and then I'll hit the chat box to try and answer your guys' questions. Thanks. The first question somebody asked is one of our page regulars, and a lot of people might not know about this type of scam because it's kind of I've had it happen on my fake profile. It's kind of a weird thing, but what's a sugar mommy and a sugar daddy? So do you guys know there's a new, okay, well, first we'll start with, we all know what a sugar mommy and a sugar daddy is. We all know that there are people that will pay people to be their partner, and you all often hear about a young girl wanting a sugar daddy to pay for her college or pay for her cars and things. We have scams like that. We all know what those are. And same with the sugar mommy, someone that's older, wanting a young man and will pay for things for him. But there are also scammers who actually pretend to be sugar daddies, who will go on to dating sites and say, "Oh, I want to be with you, my dear. I want to be your sugar daddy. I want to take care of you." And in reality, what they are is they're scammers who are pretending to be this type of person. And I've come across a few of them on dating sites, and it's something you guys need to be aware of. Not that you're looking for a sugar daddy by any means, but there are scammers that will come across to you with fake profiles and say, "Honey, I've got a lot of money. You wanna be with me?" And so do be aware of that. It's kind of a new tactic that they're using, and like I said, I've come across a few scammers doing that, and that's basically what they do. They pretend to be very wealthy and they want to take care of you, and that's when the scam starts. And oftentimes they'll say, "Well, honey, I'll send you $10,000, give me your banking information." And people will give their banking information, and we know what happens there. They'll send money that's either stolen and ask you to send forward so much of that money, or they'll send you a fake check, and you'll end up getting in trouble for trying to cash it. So, keep in mind when you're on a dating site and you meet somebody and they're saying, "Oh, honey, I want to pay for everything. I want to buy you a car. I want to do this and that." It's a huge red flag that something's wrong. Normal people don't, you know, buy you a new car or pay all your bills for you. Unfortunately, that's just not the way life works. So, hope that answers your question to the person that asked it. Um, we had one person ask, how do scammers order food online for victims? How is that possible? It's very easy. What scammers do, and I actually had someone steal my credit card information about a year ago. In groups, there's groups on Facebook run by scammers who will steal credit card information. They'll trade it online. Scammers use the stolen credit card numbers, and they go ahead and they go online to places like Grubhub and Quick Food and stuff like that, Pizza, Domino's, whatever. They'll order food for a target victim with that stolen credit card and have it sent to that victim's house. And it's part of the manipulation of a scammer. They'll say, "Oh, honey, I care about you. I know you worked a long day, you haven't eaten, so I'm going to go ahead and send you some pizza." And that pizza will be bought with a stolen credit card. A scammer is never going to use their own credit card or their own money. It's going to be a stolen credit card. And it's just a way for them to try to win over a victim. They'll spend $20 on a pizza to win over your heart so that later on down the road they can ask you for $1,000 because they're stuck at the airport or some other excuse. So scammers they do send food. They send flowers, they send roses, chocolates, they send all kinds of stuff to victims. And a lot of them use Amazon gift cards to purchase items such as earrings, jewelry, clothing for a victim. And that's why a lot of times you'll have a scammer ask you for an Amazon gift card. And you'll give it to the scammer with a fake profile. And that scammer will take that gift card and use it to buy something for a different victim so they can try and win over that victim and get more money from them. So it's all about playing the role and playing people, and they use victims items for other victims. So they have no problem with taking a $25 gift card from you and giving it to buy some earrings or something for a different victim if they think that victim is going to give them more money. So remember that. If you see that online and you have someone that you've never met in person and they want to buy you a new pair of Nike shoes, something's very wrong with that. So don't ever accept gifts from people. And especially, and I can't say this enough, when you meet somebody online and you've never met them or video chatted with them and you're not in a relationship with them, you're just getting to know them, and they ask for your home address, don't give it. There's something wrong with that. And a lot of times when scammers ask for your home address, they're setting you up to, "Oh dear, I want to send you a package." And that's how it starts. So don't ever give your address out to people that you haven't met or that you don't video chat with and you don't know really well. It's always a scary thing. And Christina, that's true. They always ask if you've eaten. Isn't that funny? You talk to a scammer and they say, "Have you eaten today, dear?" And when I talk to them with a fake profile, I always tell them I've eaten like this enormous meal just to mess with them. But they will ask you. They'll say, "Well, honey, have you eaten?" And if you say, "Oh, no, I've been too busy. I've been at work. I work hard. I work all day." "Oh, we'll send you some food." So they do ask that. And a lot of in the African countries, some of the countries, that's just like a common thing that they ask people. You know, like if you're in Nigeria, a lot of them will just, if you're talking with your friend, they'll say, "Have you eaten today?" It's just a normal conversation for them. But for Westerners, it's kind of a weird question to ask. Like, I don't ask people if they've eaten. I don't really care. So it's true, but they do ask questions like that. Next question is from Deborah. What if the person I'm talking to has never asked me for anything, but his photo is stolen and I know he's a fake? What is the harm in staying friends with him? He hasn't asked for money or anything. Well, the harm in that is scammers don't always ask for money. Scammers don't always ask for iTunes cards and gift cards. Scammers sometimes stay your friend for years. And they'll stay your friend for years because of two reasons. They're putting you on the back burner because they have other victims that they're getting money from, or they want to stay on your friends list because they like your aunt, they like your grandma, they like your mom, they like your cousin and your friend that you are friends with on Facebook. And so they see you talking to grandma on Facebook. Well, they might not ask you for money, but they may hit up grandma for money. And you know, scammers are like worms. They infiltrate, they get in, and they friend all your friends, your family, everybody. So if you're friends with a fake profile and you know it's fake and you know the person is a scammer, it's very dangerous to stay friends with them. They'll capture all your photos, your family's links, possibly your phone number, their phone numbers. You know, they may be talking to your aunt, your uncle, whoever, with a different fake profile. You won't even know. So it's very dangerous to stay friends with a scammer with a fake profile, and I don't see a reason for it. The person's fake. They're obviously a criminal. They're obviously out to do harm. So why would you stay friends with them? It makes no sense to me, and I wouldn't stay friends with a person that is fake. I mean, there's so many reasons why you shouldn't, but the number one is you're friends with a criminal, and the longer you stay friends with that person, they're going to share your link with their other scammer friends and their other scammer friends, and you're going to have tons of friend requests from all these fake people. Like we've talked about before, scammers, you know, they stalk their victims and they share your information. And you know, if you're scammed one time, you'll find after you've been scammed that 400 new people want to be your friend, and they're all scammers. So it's never a good idea to stay friends with a scammer. Don't ever do that. Just don't put yourself at risk. And if you love your friends and family, you wouldn't put them at risk either. So definitely don't stay friends with them. And even if they haven't asked for money, they will. It's just coming. So don't even bother with it. Why do all the profiles that are fake give out such detailed information, like their birth dates, place of birth, home address in the States? Why go out to that much trouble? Why not? If you want to pretend that you're a real person, you would give out that information. And scammers will, they'll look up addresses of houses that are for rent, for sale, and say, "Oh, dear, I live at 1234 Main Street in Alabama City. Here's my address. I'm real." And they give out a birthday. And we have so many people come to the inbox and they say to us, "He's born October 5th, 1957. Can't you find him?" And you have to keep in mind that from the date of birth to the person's name that you're talking to their children's names, to their company names, to their whole life story is all made up. It's all imaginary. So everything they've told you about themselves is imaginary. It's not real. They're not real people. You know, obviously it's a real scammer behind the profile, but all the information they've told you about themselves is not true. So, you know, if you're talking to a man and he says he's 57 and he lives at Main Street in Alabama City and his favorite color is purple, and all of that's just made up. You're talking to a character that a criminal has made up. So, of course, they're going to go into great detail to try and win your trust. You know, if you're talking to a person and they tell you nothing about themselves, then you might wonder. But you need to wonder as well if you're talking to a person that you've just met and they tell you their entire life story, their birth date, they show you their passport, they give you your address, something's wrong with that as well. So, of course, some scammers are stupid. Some scammers don't go into that great detail, but a lot of them do. And the ones that go into that great detail are good at what they do, and they want to win your trust. So always question that. And always remember that a scammer is playing a part like in a movie. He's an actor and he's playing a character, and that's what you're talking to is the character. So next question we had, this comes from a lady named Fanny, and she says, "I am so poor, so I'm not worried about being scammed." I'm poor too. A lot of people are poor. They get scammed. We've had a lot of people say to us, I'll never be a victim of a scam because I don't have any money. That's not true. If you talk to a scammer or a fake profile and you tell them, I'm a single mother, I work a part-time job at Subway, I have no money, I'm very poor, I don't have a car, blah, 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 I have no credit cards, I have nothing, I just have, the bare minimum. A scammer has a use for you. A scammer will use you as a money mule. A scammer will say, oh, honey, your kid's birthday is coming up and you have no money. Let me send you some money for a birthday gift. There's $500 at Western Union, and you can pick it up. You can keep 200 of it and send the rest on to so-and-so in Nigeria or another mule. They'll use you as a money mule, and it happens often. Or they might use you as a wire fraud mule, and they'll say to you, well, honey, you know what? Do you have a bank account? Yeah, I have a bank account, and I've got, $15 in it. Well, sweetie, I just sent you $1,000. Go take 800 of that for yourself and send me the other two. And that's what scammers do. And they'll use you as a banking mule. They'll use you for wire fraud. So if you're poor, you're not exempt from being a victim of a scam. If anything, a scammer will find a use for you. A scammer will use you as a money mule. And it's quite easy. And unfortunately, and like I said, I'm not rich either. I'm just working. I work all the time, and I'm not rich. But a scammer will see that opportunity, and a lot of people who are struggling, and especially now because we have the U.S. government's shut down, we have a lot of people out of work. Scammers know this, and they'll use that and use people as money mules who are desperate for money, who really do need some money. So just remember, just because you're poor doesn't mean that you're exempt from a scam. A scammer has a use for all of us, from the rich people to the poor people. A scammer will use you in any way he can. So I hope that answers your question, Fanny. The next question is, okay, what's the difference between a group and a community page? And a lot of people get a little bit confused by us because they think that we're a group. They think that we are a group where you have to, have a membership to be able to be on this page. And I'll tell you the difference. A group is a closed group. It's where they have members, and you have to join, and you have to, sometimes you have to answer certain questions or open up your friends list or do something like that. That's a group. And a group is where other people can't see it. We're a community page. A community page means everybody and anybody can come on this page and read what you write, read our posts, and get help. And the reason we keep it an open community page is because we're here to help victims that need the help right away. Most often people join groups because they've already been scammed and they want to scam bait and they want to report profiles, and a lot of groups will do that. But a community page like us, we're here, we're open for people to seek help. So if you need shelter, you need help, you need someone to help you, you don't know if you're being scammed, a community page like us, we're open for everybody. You can come to our inbox. There's no joining, there's no questions, you don't have to have a questionnaire in order to, be part of the page. You just you tick like on the button, and you see our stuff in your newsfeed. That's all it is, and it's open for everybody to read. With that being said, it is open. Scammers can read the page. Scammers do read the page, but we do ban people that are scammers. We do ban fake profiles, and every day I ban at least 5 or 10 people that are scammers or fakes. But like I said, we keep the page open so that people can get help. Groups, are not going to be able to help somebody that needs help right away because they have to join. And so we're there to help everybody and anybody without having to join or have a membership. So that's the difference between a group and a community page. And I got someone in the chat box asking if they can call a military base to check. You know what? You can. You can. What I would do, if you know the soldier's name and you're talking to somebody online and they say, honey, I'm at blah, blah, blah Air Force Base in Florida, you can call and talk to, it depends on the information because, a lot of privacy acts, they can't give you that information. But if you were to call a military base and say, I'm talking to Smith John and he's at your Air Force Base and he needs an iTunes card, is he real? A legit Army person is going to tell you you're talking to a scammer. So you can call an Army base. You can Google the number. Now, if a scammer tells you they're, or a military profile tells you they're in Florida at an Air Force base or an Army base, and they give you a phone number, don't call that phone number because it's likely to be a fake voicemail number. Google the base, Google the name, and type in whatever, Travis Air Force Base, Texas, and then type in the information. Get the number for information for the Air Force Base. Don't trust a scammer to give you the phone number to the base where you can talk to his commander, because it'll be a fake. But you can call a military base and inquire, and you can call and ask, hey, I'm talking to this guy online, and he says he's a commander at your base, and he needs this and this and this, and they'll tell you it's a scam. So it depends on the situation and what you're wanting to find out. But yeah, definitely. I mean, you can even call if you're, we'll give you advice all day long. I can look at a profile and tell you if it's fake. But if you'd rather talk to somebody in the military, you can even call a recruiting station near your home and say, hey, I'm talking to this guy, Bob Smith, and he says he's stationed in Nigeria at the Nigerian Air Force Base, and he needs 10 iTunes cards. Is it real? And a legit Army recruiter is going to tell you the truth and say, it's a scam. So don't be afraid to ask them. I mean, it's always worth your time to do so if you want to ask if a military person is legit. And they're happy to help you. I've had many victims who have actually called military bases and said, hey, I'm talking to this guy, blah, blah, blah. And they've had people in the military, whoever answers the phone or whoever's on duty has said, no, you're talking to a scammer, you need to stop. So, I mean, it's worth your time if you want to do that. But again, our inbox is open too. I can help you, and Ann can help you as well. Christine, if you want to inbox me, click message, and I'll read your message as soon as this Q&A is over, and I'll help you sort through it and try to figure out who you're talking to or what's going on. I'm happy to help you. Just click message, and I'll write back to you as soon as I can. Darlene's talking to a guy who says he's in Germany. He's in the military, so he needs $4,000 to get home. Military don't do that. That's right. Military doesn't have to pay, and they don't need you to pay. And we've said this a million times. Military doesn't pay for their leaves. They don't need $4,000 from you. They don't need you to fill out a special form for them to leave. They don't need you to email their commander at Gmail or USA Mail or any of that crap. A legit military man takes care of his own leave. He takes care of it himself. The military will not contact you as a civilian. They're not going to contact you about a military man's leave. And keep in mind, and I've talked about this a lot before, military men who are deployed to places like Syria and Afghanistan and Iraq and all these places, they're not going to be sitting on the internet looking for lonely women to talk to or single women who want a man. It doesn't work that way. And military men who are deployed are not on WhatsApp, and military men who are deployed can video chat. I have friends that are in the Marine Corps. I have friends that are in the Army, and you know what? They can video chat with me. I have video chatted with a good friend of mine that was in Afghanistan at the height of the war, and he was able to video chat with me where he was at, and it was a clear video chat. So if you're talking to a soldier and they say, oh, I can't video chat, it's against the security policy of the Army, it's a scammer. You're talking to a scammer. And as much as and Christine, no, if you're talking to a military man and he says he's deployed to Nigeria, you're talking to a Nigerian scammer. There's so many military profiles that say, oh, I'm deployed to Nigeria, I'm fighting Boko Haram there. Can you send $5,000 to this Nigerian man for me? It's a scammer. You're talking to a scammer. It's just, it doesn't work that way. And deployed military men are not, giving out, their ID cards and giving out their personal information, and they're not chatting with you from the war zone and asking for gift cards or telling you that they're going to marry you when they get home. It's just not that way. And unfortunately, I mean, and I understand, like a lot of women love military guys. They want a military man. But the reality is, the ones you're talking to on Facebook and Instagram, and the ones that are half naked with their ripped bodies and they're saying, oh honey, I'm deployed to Nigeria, you're talking to a little Nigerian kid who's a scammer. And Unfortunately, I have a lot of victims that come to me and say, I'm 47 years old and I'm talking to this military guy who says he's 50 and he's going to retire next month. And in reality, you're talking to a 15-year-old little Nigerian. And that's the reality of it. So if you're talking to someone that tells you they're deployed to Nigeria, you're definitely talking to a Nigerian scammer. And deployed men are not deployed for 2.5 years. Deployment doesn't last that long. They come home. They don't stay gone that long. So you're definitely talking to a scammer, Christine. If you want to inbox me, I'll help you after the Q&A, but you're definitely talking to a Nigerian scammer. And I'm happy to help you, and then we'll sort through it. Next question is, why do scammers start calling you wife? They do, don't they? You meet a guy online and he loves you. He wants to be your husband and he calls you wife. My wife. You've never met him. You've never video chatted. You've never even spoken on the phone, but he's going to call you his wife. It's emotional manipulation. A lot of scammers like to show that their victim, hey, honey, I'm committed. I'm a committed man. I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to, just have a casual, one-night stand with you or a casual relationship. I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to marry you. And the reality is, real legit men, I'm going to tell you right now, if I've never met you in person, I've never had a real in-person relationship with you, and know what you're like around the house, and I wouldn't ask you to marry me. I wouldn't call you my wife because you're not. That comes with time. And a real legit man and a real legit woman, online, relationships take time. And so the idea of marrying someone is wonderful. I think a commitment is a great thing, but you have to meet the person. You have to be with them. You have to have a relationship with them. You can't just say, you're my wife. That's ridiculous. And any normal man, like, let's give you an example. Let's say you are on a date, first date ever, and you met this man and you're sitting at a nice restaurant and you're eating spaghetti and he says, honey, you're my wife. You would get your purse, you would get up and you would leave the restaurant without even thinking twice. And so you need to think about that online. When you're talking to somebody online and they start calling you their wife, something's very wrong, and that they're trying to manipulate you emotionally. They're trying to get you to believe that they're committed and they want to be with you. And the reality is, it's a scammer who's trying to show you that they're going to be with you forever, and they're not. They're just manipulating you emotionally. So, like I said, if someone's calling you their wife, you've never met them, something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. Next question we have, is it true? Yeah, this is from Sally. Is it true if you don't put a photo of yourself as a profile, no scammers will speak to you? No. They'll still speak to you. And a really dumb one will say, oh, you could have a profile of a bottle of water. I mean, seriously. This could be your profile photo, and a dumb scammer will say, honey, I came across your profile. You have such a beautiful smile. They hit up anybody. They don't care. I mean, some scammers actually look for women's photos and say, oh, that woman's 50 years old. I think I'll try to, or that woman is from the Philippines. I think I'll try to scam her. But a lot of scammers don't look at your photos. I mean, I tell people, don't have your profile picture of yourself on your Facebook. And it's because scammers kind of do. They do look, but the majority of them don't. They just hit up anybody. And so, I mean, I have fake dating profiles that have a woman that looks like she's ready to kill you. And I'll have a scammer come to me and say, honey, I love your smile. They don't care. They don't look. They don't pay attention. They just want to talk to somebody and try to scam you. So, I mean, it can detour scammers if you have a photo of a cartoon or something. It might push them away. But at the end of the day, you're still going to get talked to by a scammer. There's still going to be a scammer somewhere that's going to, they'll talk to a cartoon profile photo of Scooby-Doo and tell you, oh, honey, you look great. So, I mean, it can maybe detour 10% of them, but in the reality, they're going to still try to talk to you no matter what you do. Maria, what is up with the marriage certificate? He says it's $3,500. If you're talking to a military man and he's telling you that you need to pay for a marriage certificate, you're talking to a scammer. Legit military men do not need you to pay for a marriage certificate. There's no such thing. Marrying a military man is no different than marrying a man that works at Walmart. You go down to the courthouse, you get married, or wherever you get married, and that's it. You pay the fee of whatever it is in person, a couple $100s, and you get married. There's no such thing as a military marriage certificate. And if someone's telling you they need $3,000 for it, you're talking to a scammer. Block them. Don't even think twice about it. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a marriage certificate that you need to pay thousands of dollars for. The marriage certificate you get in person with your future husband or wife. You go to the courthouse and get it in person. You don't apply for it online through a barrister or whatever. So that's a scammer. If you're talking to somebody and they say you need to pay for a leave certificate, you're talking to a scammer. So anything, any certificates, any kind of stupid thing like that, it's a scammer. So don't block that person if they're telling you that. It's 100% a scam. So just please remember that. And also, yeah, friend requests. Look, I get friend requests every once in a while, and it's from people I don't know. I don't accept them unless I know you from this page. I'm friends with some people from the scam page that I've known for a long time. Unless you're from the scam page, unless you're a relative, unless I work with you, I'm not going to accept you. I'm very particular about who I accept as friends. My Facebook profile doesn't have a lot of friends because I choose not to friend people I don't know. And so if you're getting friend requests left and right from people and you don't know them, they're likely scammers. Random strange people don't send you friend requests generally, that are legit. I mean, you might get one or two people that saw you in a group you're in and say, hey, I seen you like the same band as me. You want to be friends? That's different. But, just getting random friend requests from military men or, from a woman that looks like she belongs in a porno, it's definitely a scammer. And don't accept them. And you don't have to accept people as your friends. I mean, I don't know why people feel so obligated if they get a friend request to hit that yes button. I don't accept friend requests from people all the time. I don't feel bad about it, and you shouldn't either. So just remember that. And, it is $1 billion business. Scamming is $1 billion business. These scammers are making more money in 1 week than I'll make in a whole year working a job. And the only way, people ask us, how can we stop it? Well, you stop it by not sending money. You stop it by not sending gift cards and iTunes cards. It's up to you. And so many people say to me, well, law enforcement should do something. They're not going to. They're strapped. The FBI and other agencies don't have the time and the resources to track down these scammers. We have people come to our inbox every day that say, why haven't you arrested my scammer? I'm not law enforcement. And even if I was, I couldn't do it. They scam from places like Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, and you're a scam victim that's living in Ohio. There's nothing that they can do. They can't fly over to Nigeria and bang down the door of some scammer's house and arrest them. It just doesn't work that way. Scammers do get arrested, but a lot of them are major scammers that do big time scamming. And so they get arrested when they do a lot of wire fraud. You'll see, 15 Yahoo boys arrested in Lagos. It's because they've taken $500,000. That's the ones that get caught. But the ones asking for iTunes cards and $1,000 are not going to get caught. And it's just the way it is, unfortunately. So, and Pauline, yeah, you know what? Scammers like to make threats to people, and you just have to laugh at it. Because the reality is, it's a 17-year-old boy in Lagos who's saying, I'm going to have the FBI arrest you. They're not. Just block them. I laugh at them. I've had so many scammers threaten to, have me arrested and throw me in jail and all this stuff, and I just laugh. That's all it is. You just laugh about it. So we have quite a few more questions. I want to try to get to. One interesting question was from a lady named Taylor, and she asked, who are Kelvin and Dr. Hoo in your memes, and what's up with the story behind them? So a lot of you, if you've been on the page, if you've been on our original page, Scamming Scammers and Scamming Scammers Education, you've seen Dr. Hoo. And we've had people ask us, who is Dr. Hoo? Well, about 4 years ago, we had a chat with a scammer who said he was trapped in Nigeria. He was using a profile photo of a reality star, and I can't remember who the reality star was. It was someone from one of the big you know, like Deadliest Catch or one of those shows. And he said he was trapped in Nigeria, his workers were injured, and it was one of the funniest Skype chats we'd ever had with a scammer using a fake profile. And he had said that Dr. Hoo was coming to the job site to save his injured workers, but he needed money. And so we took that and we just kind of used that and ran with it. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Hoo became the official doctor of scamming scammers. So that's where that came from. It was actually a scammer who came up with the name Dr. Hoo, and we just have used it ever since. And Kelvin. So everything is named Kelvin. So a lot of scammers use the name Kelvin. They name their children Kelvin. They name themselves Kelvin, Dr. Kelvin, and you know, my little boy is named Kelvin. It's a popular name for scammers to use, and I don't know if it's a popular name in Nigeria. It might be, but we use it. We use it for everything. Everybody is named Kelvin. It's kind of a joke here on the page, and that's where it comes from. So if you're new to the page, you can kind of get an idea of what this is about. But that's Dr. Hoo and Kelvin. That's the story behind them. The next question we have is from Tanya. Can it be dangerous to warn a victim you don't know that they're being scammed? Yes. And the reason why it can be dangerous, it can go either way. You know, if you are talking to somebody and they say, you know, you see someone that's being scammed, you don't know them, and so you want to do good and you want to warn that person and say, oh, sweetheart, you're being scammed, you know, don't talk to that man anymore. A lot of times the victims who you're warning don't know who you are, for a start, and they'll say, oh, it's not true, you're just trying to steal my man. So if you're, you know, you in your head, you want to do a good thing and you want to help this person who's being scammed and stop them from being scammed, and unfortunately what happens is that person may turn around and go, oh, no, you're not, you're just trying to take my man. And they'll block, they'll tell the scammer. They'll say, honey, this lady named Tanya, she tried to warn me about you. Here's her profile, and it'll backfire on you. Sometimes you can get through to a victim. You can warn a victim, and they'll say, oh my God, thank you. I was just about to send $1,000 to this person. But a lot of times it goes south, and the victim will go deeper into the scammer's web. So, you know, if you want to warn a victim, it's up to you, but do keep in mind that it can go either way, and it can go badly. So always remember that. Just, you know, you might have good intentions, but the person might be so entangled in the relationship that they don't want to listen to you. And so you have to just remember that when that happens. I have a couple more things, and I want to address something that someone brought to me. Do some scammers using fake profiles, why do they ask you for so many photos? Some do, don't they? They'll say, honey, I want to see, send me 10 photos of yourself. Send me a photo of yourself right now. There's a couple reasons for that. Some scammers will collect photos and they may use them. Some scammers might want 10 photos of you because they're going to turn around and use them on another fake profile. A lot of times what it is with the scammer, a good scammer will want photos of you because they're checking them. They're taking your photos and they're running them through Google to make sure that they're not somebody else, and they'll actually ask you, honey, what do you, if you watch the conversation, they'll say, honey, what are you wearing? And you say, well, I'm wearing a black t-shirt. They'll say, honey, send me a photo of yourself right now. They want to make sure you're legit. There's a lot of scam baiters out there, and a good scammer doesn't want to waste his time talking to a scam baiter. He would rather talk to somebody who he can actually victimize. So that's some of the reasons why they ask. But also, you know, if you've got kids and they're asking for a bunch of photos of your kids, that's a huge red flag, because they're going to take those photos of your kids and they're going to use them on another fake profile. So don't send photos of your children to somebody you've just met online. You know, you can tell somebody you have kids, but don't send, oh, here's 25 photos of my son. Don't do that, because the scammers will use your kids' photos. They don't care. They just want photos of kids, and they'll use your kids. They don't care. I've had ladies and gentlemen come to the page and say, the scammer's using photos of my son. And I'll say, well, how did he get them? And they'll say, well, I talked to this fake profile and I sent him 25 photos of my son. Well, that's how they're using them. So don't send photos of your kids to people you've never met. It's dangerous. Even if it wasn't a scammer, you don't know who you're talking to unless you know the person well and you get to know them. That's different. But a stranger you just met online, don't send them photos. Sheila, how can it get worse if you have been scammed one time? Um, well, you know what? Scammers, you get scammed once, they know that you've paid them money. So a scammer, let's say you're a victim of a scam and you send $1,000 to a scammer. They'll go, hey, this lady Sheila, she pays money. Go ahead and send her friend request, and they share your information. I've been in groups where scammers are running the groups, and they say, oh, Sally over here, she gave me 10 grand. Here's her link. Try to get more money off of her. Try to be an FBI agent. Try to do this. Try to do that to get more money. So if you're scammed once, you are put up there as a paying client to a scammer, and so they'll try to scam you again and again. It's a horrible thing. But they victimize the victim over and over again. So a scammer will victimize you over and over if he or she can. And especially, and I hate to say this, if you've paid out a lot of money, like we've had victims that have sent $100,000 to a scammer, you're a hot client, and they're going to go after you hard, and you'll find you'll get 100 friend requests a day. Or the scammer that scammed you the first time may come back as the FBI. They may come back as the special EFCC investigator. So just remember, if you've been a victim of a scam, you're unfortunately a target of more scammers, and it can be a living hell. I mean, we've had victims that were scammed a year ago, and they come back, and they come back again and try to victimize that person again and again. So it does happen. I was going to touch on something really quick. I had it in my notes, and I see this gentleman writing about it. There is a group called Friends of Victim UK Limited, and they brought us a scam that I'd never heard of. And we do talk about there's a lot of fake loan scams going on out there. There is an app in the Google Play Store called ChapChap, and I'm going to do a post about this later as well. And it's the email address for this scam. It's tymtalkinc@gmail.com, and it is run out of Tanzania. It is a fake loan app that is in the Google Play Store, and there's a lot of Google Play apps that are fake, and especially ones that promise loans. But this one, ChapChap, is definitely a scam, and they're promising loans and things like that, and financial help. And it is run by someone in Tanzania, a group, and unfortunately the government in that country doesn't want nothing to do with helping to remove the fake company. They also, Google Play Store, it's very hard for them to get the app removed, and they are scamming people with this app. And keep in mind that stuff like loans and things, if you need a loan, go to a bank, go to a legit lender, go to Google legit lenders in your area and go in person to that place. Don't apply for loans and things through apps online, because it's almost always a scam. And if it's not a scam, you'll find that it's a high interest loan that's going to just mess you up financially. But yeah, ChapChap is definitely an app that you want to avoid, and it is a scam. And I wanted to thank Dean and David from Friends of Victims UK Limited for the information, because I had not heard of that app, and it was something that they brought to us, and there's been a lot of victims who have fallen victim because of that app. So I appreciate it. Thank you for your page for doing that for us and bringing it to us. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you guys can write them in the chat box if you'd like. We've gotten all of our questions answered that were in our inbox for tonight. I appreciate all of you guys coming out for the Q&A. Hopefully, the one in February, I'm going to try and do probably late February. We'll see how scheduling and things are with my work, but we'll definitely do one every month. And always remember, we have our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers. I try to upload a couple videos a week. I'm only off a couple days a week, so I try to do that on my days off, but I appreciate you guys being on the channel and supporting the channel, as well as supporting our page. And sometimes Facebook tries to censor us a little bit. So, you know, if you don't see us in your news feed, just always pop on over to the page. We're on there every single day, and we're on here every day, and I'm on YouTube a few times a week. So if you have any, you know, questions, you need help or whatever, we're always there. But you know, do keep in mind Facebook does try to censor us sometimes. They do that with all scam pages. And one more thing, I want to just touch on. Someone brought up to us, we had an issue with a gentleman the other day that was making threats to us, and you know, I don't take threats very seriously, and I didn't take this one seriously. But he did ask a question. He says, "Why is your page not verified?" And that's a great question. Facebook makes it very hard to verify a page. So unless you're a public figure, unless you're in the public eye, you know, unless you're someone, you know, like a known military person or something like that, it's very hard to get a verified page. That doesn't mean we're fake. It doesn't mean we're not legit. It just means that Facebook does not verify anti-scam pages. And I don't think you'll find really any anti-scam page that's verified unless they're an actual government agency or run by a government figure. So just to address that, I mean, we're legit people. You can see who I am. You know who Ann is. You see our videos. We've helped people since 2013. So that's the reason we're not verified. It's just Facebook won't verify anti-scam pages. If anything, they want to shut them down because, you know, they're corrupt as all can be. So just wanted to address that really quickly. Vicky, even when scammers are caught, they continue to lie. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And they will say to you, "Honey, I've never scammed before and I'll never scam again." And they're still scamming. They're still doing it as they're talking to you. So if a scammer, you know, confesses to you and says, "Oh, it's the first time I've ever scammed. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm a poor Nigerian boy from Lagos and I have no money." The same time he's telling you that, he's scamming some other poor victim with a fake profile. And we've had tons of interviews I've done with scammers who have confessed and then they keep scamming. So, you know, don't fall for their crap, don't fall for their lies, and don't fall for their stories. They're going to keep scamming you no matter what. So, thank you, Jane. Appreciate it. I do take care of myself the best I can. I work a lot, so I'm always tired, but I do. And I appreciate all of your guys' positivity that you bring us to the page. I mean, we really try hard to help as many people as possible. And sometimes, you know, the inbox gets really busy. And someone asked me the other day, "How many inboxes do you get a day?" And I said, "It depends. We can have 300 a day. We can have 100 a day. But it all depends." So do know that we will answer you as soon as we can. Sometimes it's 10 or 12 hours before I can get to you. And it's just because I'm working a regular job, so I don't always get to come on here. But I just want to thank everyone again. And if you are a federal worker in the United States, I'm really sorry that you're going without pay. I think it's horrible what you guys are going through. But please keep in mind that scammers also know that. And so, you know, don't fall victim to a scammer that tells you, you know, "Oh, let me help you with some money. I know you're working at the TSA and you're not getting paid." Scammers are victimizing people who are out of work in this country right now. And so, you know, always keep your guard up. And remember, we think of scammers as being stupid, but in reality, they watch the news. They definitely watch the news. They know what's going on, and they use that to their advantage. You know, right now they're talking about pulling all these troops out of Syria. Scammers know that, and so they'll say, "Oh, honey, I can get out of Syria sooner if you pay my leave." So they do the news. They're smart. People think scammers are dumb, but they're not. They watch the news, they read, they know what's going on, and they use that to their advantage. So keep that in mind when you're talking to somebody. You know, that seems like they're really up on world events. That doesn't mean that they're legit. It means they're probably a really good scammer. So can you please make a quick old lady voice and giggle? Sure. I play the old lady. I still play the old lady. I haven't gotten to play her a lot lately just because of my job, but yeah, I'll do the old lady voice before I leave. So if anyone has any more questions, if you want to answer them. And Pauline, yes, I agree. It is sad what's happening in our country right now. I fortunately don't work for the government, so I still have a paycheck, but I feel sorry for people who don't. and I hope that it's resolved quickly. I never talk politics on this page ever because my opinion might be different from yours, but I definitely feel for the workers who do not have a paycheck. That's a horrible thing. Vicky, it seems the scammers make their move in the midst of chaos. They do. They do. You know, scammers, like I said, they look for things. They look for events. They look for tragedies. I mean, we've even had scammers that, you know, God forbid there's an explosion. I'll give you an example. The other day, 4 troops were killed in Syria, and we had scammers turn around and say, "Oh, my group was in there. My men were killed. I need to get home." They use tragedy, real life tragedies, in their stories, and they spin it. And so, you know, you have to remember that. So many of us, like I said, think scammers are stupid, and they're not. They read the news. They know what's going on in the world. They know the government, our U.S. government's shut. They know people are out of work. They know people are hungry, and they're not getting food, and they're, you know, they need help, and they're using that to their advantage. So don't be quick to assume that they're all stupid, because they're not. They know what they're doing, totally. So just don't think scammers are dumb. And we do have dumb scammers, of course. We've had scammers that, you know, say the stupidest crap and you laugh. Like I have, you know, chats with scammers and that are stupid. But there's a lot of really good ones out there. I've had chats with scammers and I wasn't even sure if they were a scammer. And I had to really, you know, question it for a while, and then I found out, yeah, they were scammers. So all right. I want to thank everyone for being here and for coming to the Q&A. If you have any more questions, ask them now, or you'll have to wait till February. But I want to thank everyone for coming, and I hope that 2019 so far has been good to you. It's been okay for me. You know, I'm doing good, and I said Anne's slowly recovering. It's been a really rough road for her, and unfortunately, we're all kind of helpless. We can't really do much other than, you know, keep her in our thoughts and our prayers, and hope that she gets better and stronger. And as I said, if there's any updates on her health, I will definitely post them. She's been in and out of the hospital since September, and so it's been really, really tough. But hopefully she'll have a better year this year. We'll all have a better year this year, and things will progress and get better. So I appreciate all your thoughts and prayers, definitely. And if you have any questions, ask them now. Otherwise, I'll close this Q&A for February or January. Sorry, and I will be back next month for another one. And if you have any questions, if you need any help, the inbox is open. I'll be working the inbox and helping anybody that needs help. And if Christine is still on chat, come to the inbox and I'll sort through your military guy profile and see what's going on. So thanks, everyone. Stay safe and keep your money to yourself. Don't give it to the scammers. And as the old lady would say, Kyle, don't let them damn scammers take our money. I'm not gonna go get my house slippers on and go send them no damn Western Union. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next month for our Q&A. If you need help, inbox is open. And thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel, Scamming Scammers. Until next time, you guys, stay safe, and we will see you next month. Bye, everybody. Thanks. Have a good night.